the show. And I think this is really important for students to see. A lot of people, this is really mysterious to them. But you start with the script. Everything starts with the script, actually with a premise, which is really short, maybe a couple pages, runs through the ideas for an episode, and rough structure. In an outline, you start to bang out the structure, you start to hash out what the sequences are going to be, where they take place, maybe some temporary dialogue in there. And then that gets turned into a script, which goes through many drafts. You start to plug in the real dialogue clearly. And so this is all for a scene of a show that you guys haven't seen yet, an episode. Then we record the dialogue with the actors. And in this particular sequence, it's Kiernan Shipka from Mad Men, who plays Janora. Janet Varney, our great actress who plays Korra, and D. Bradley Baker, who does all the animals on Avatar. And he was Tarlok. But in this scene, he plays this spirit. You're going to hear those later. You're going to hear them a couple times. Then the production staff, they take those scripts and they break down every design that's going to be needed. Sometimes they're stock designs, most times it's something new. Any location, like I said earlier, that has to be designed. Any prop that they interact with, that has to be designed. Any new character, any new angle we're seeing on a design, we need to draw that. These are the jobs that I entered in the industry. I was a character designer. Stock design of Janora. And there's one shot where this thing flies through, has to be designed. Just a couple shots where we see this butterfly, it's gotta be designed. As the art director, I give notes on stuff, and in this case I said, it's looking a little too cartoony, I wanted it to look a little creepier, more realistic. And it also, I knew in the storyboard, we're in the spirit world, so this thing starts out as a flower and then it turns into a butterfly. So Christy Sang, one of our awesome character designers, revised it, turned in this rough, and then here you can see the transition to the cleanup. Really beautiful cleanup line, which makes it a lot easier to color. It lets the animators know exactly what the shapes are, what's closed off for color, what's not. Turning things around in space so you can see the shape and consistent volumes. We have these meerkat prairie dog spirits. This one cracked me up because meerkats and prairie dogs pretty much look alike, so it was one of our more mild combinations. I gave some notes on it, just some subtle changes. She came back with these cleaned up and looking great. This was rare for us. We don't usually have this luxury, but we had a piece of concept art that Fred Stewart, one of our awesome painters, he's actually the artist we based the whole Korra painting style on, his work. Luckily at the beginning of book 2, we had a little bit of time for them to just generate some concepts of what the spirit world could look like, and he did this awesome piece, and we were all really inspired by it. So the writers and Mike thought this would be a good location for the scene. So a design was done based off of that concept painting for the location. Alright, so when we go into storyboard, usually thumbnails are pretty rough. In this case, some artists at Studio Mir did these boards, and the animators in Korea kind of just draw one way. They just draw clean all the time. So these rough boards look pretty much like the finished boards. But you can see in just this short little sequence how much posing is involved, planning out the action. In this case, Korra touched a flower, and then disconnected to that, Janora was chasing a little school of butterflies. But that's about to get revised, so the sequence continues, and then she runs into the little meerkat guy. So these were the revised, cleaned up boards, even though they're about the same level of cleanness. So the scene starts out differently now. Korra touches this flower. It transforms into this butterfly that continues to grow. You can see on the right panel where Christy got the little cartoony looking butterfly. That's what she was based on. so that action changes. It's just one butterfly and it flies over to Genora. So sometimes the revisions can be extensive. These are pretty minor. We go to the animatic. I gotta jump this video. Hopefully we have sound.
Isn't it beautiful? Just stick close to me, okay? This seems nice, but you never know when we'll run into some dark spirits.
Look! It's like it's made of jewels. The spirits are so much more beautiful in their own world than they are at home.
Genora, be careful! Hold on!
Hey! Watch where you're going, you giant clod!
So you can see that we take the storyboards and we pair them with the dialogue track, and we can edit it together, and then we get a pretty good sense of how the show's playing. If a scene's clear or not, needs any revisions, if the storyboard needs revisions, and the animatic goes through several drafts. Then we have to take those designs that we did earlier and color all of them. In this case, we had stock color models for Korra and Genora. We had to color that whale spirit in the background, decide that it's transparent. We have to let the animators know that. The compositing artist. We colored the butterfly spirit, but Genora says it looks like it's made of jewels, so we have to give this compositing note that it's going to sparkle as it flies. The little meerkat guys are colored, and the background is painted based on the original concept, but now on the revised, the design that was extrapolated from that. Image boards. This was something that, I showed you that sequence 3 where I added the color and the lighting. That really helped the animators, and the compositing artists do a great job of setting up the lighting. I was always trying to push for lighting, but it was hard to achieve it on Avatar. And I learned, there was a part of the process in a lot of Japanese anime that we were missing, which was setting up the lighting. So we've added an artist and, a whole approval process for shadows and light direction and time of day direction in the storyboards once they're done. This little sequence is a pretty simple one, so it's not that involved. But sometimes we have multiple light sources and lighting transitions, or if they fire bend in the dark, the light needs to change, so it can be pretty involved. Then it's sent to the overseas studio, all the materials, design, storyboards, animatic, script. They translate it, and then they take those designs and they start, drawing the storyboards on bigger size drawings, more detail in the backgrounds. In this case, it was the animators doing the storyboards, so their drawings were pretty on model for layout. But you can see they're putting the butterfly more on model, and but more detail into the background and where the characters interact with it. All right, and then we go back to the video. And I'm just going to play this through, and you're going to see all of the different stages this goes through. I'll talk over it a bit. So the average episode of Korra has 15,000 finished drawings. So when people are like, how long does it take? And I say, well, over a year per episode. And they're like, they think it takes a week or a month, and I just want to cry. Those are just the finished, cleaned up animation drawings. That doesn't include all the rough animation, that doesn't include all the story drawings, that doesn't include all the designs. So they take those layouts and they do key poses, and they check line tests, and then they have artists clean that stuff up. And so here you can see those blue lines indicating the shadows on the characters, and the red lines are indicating color lines in the design. So the ink and paint artists know how to color it. And they're planning out the camera moves. You see where the characters are interacting with the background there. And then they color it, they composite it, and we do a bunch of retake rounds, fixing animation.
Isn't it beautiful?
Just stick close to me, okay? This seems nice, but you never know when we'll run into some dark spirits.
Look! It's like it's made of jewels. The spirits are so much more beautiful in their own world than they are at home.
Janora, be careful! Hold on! Ugh!
Hey! Watch where you're going, you giant clod!
Sorry!
So then we give that to the sound designer and the Foley artist, and they add all the sound, because there's nothing there. And then we give it to Jeremy Zuckerman, and he does his magic with the music. And then we do color correction. In this case, it wasn't much different, but and we do the final mix where we combine all those audio tracks.
Stick close to me, okay? This seems nice, but you never know when we'll run into some dark spirits.
Look! It's like it's made of jewels. The spirits are so much more beautiful in their own world than they are at home.
Janora, be careful! Hold on!
Hey! Watch where you're going, you giant clod!
Thanks for staying so long. I've never been known to be brief, so I appreciate you hanging